So that brings us to our next class. Here you can see I have the keyword-driven class. And inside of that class, we're going to have a keyword-driven method. What I've had to do here for the keyword-driven method is to extract out the WebDriver into its own variable so that now it can be utilized by all of our tests. And you can see that now our tests are composed of a bunch of keywords, also known as methods, and they look something like this. So you initialize a driver, you go to my courses page, click my account link, type a username and type a password, and click the login button. Now this is the very lowest level of the keyword tests. So all I've really done is, for example, if we want to look at this method, you can see that all it does is literally initialize a driver, and that's very reusable across all of our tests. Typing a username, for example. Typing a username, you can see that it just deals with the username, does the click, clear, and sending of the keys. So basically all of the code that we had before that was just out here has now been wrapped in methods. In fact, let me show you guys side-by-side comparison so you can see what we started with and what this looks like. So over here on my left side, I have our very original test before we started making it better. And over here on the right hand side, you can see I have my keyword driven test. So you can obviously see right away that the keyword driven test is already much shorter. What is that, about 18 lines of code versus 25 lines of code for the recorded test, which is already way better because it's just way cleaner and obviously much easier to maintain. Furthermore, you can see that it's actually even easier to read than the test on the left, just because there's actual methods that tell you exactly what they're doing. And I believe they're pretty self-explanatory, right? Initializing a driver, going to a courses page, clicking my account link, and so on and so forth. So real, awesome, definite improvements. And the greatest thing that we've done here is we've removed all of the duplication from all of our tests. So for example, if we need to initialize a driver, and rather than have a remote web driver or a Firefox driver or a Chrome driver or whatever, rather than changing every single test as we would have to do here on the recorded test side on the left, we just update this method on the right, and we just update that here. And so if you want a Chrome driver, just change it to Chrome driver, and every single test is going to have that change. Change in a single place, updated in our 500 tests, no problem. Same thing goes for any other method. If, for example, we want to deal with the username, and anything about the username changes, whether it's the email identifier or whether it's the username itself even, which obviously can change, right? Going from dev to test to prod, you somehow have to manage the data. We now can just change it in a single place, and now that is going to be reflected in all of our tests. So those are definitely the biggest advantages to keyword-driven testing in regards to doing recorded tests. And of course, they save maintenance time, which is gonna really help you to have more stable tests. Again, when changes are coming and you know that they are coming, you have to be prepared. And this is one of the steps, removing duplication, is to being prepared for those changes to come.